We begin with history in the House of Representatives and the expulsion of Republican George Santos from the halls of Congress. What happened today was rare. Since the first Congress of 1789, more than 11,000 lawmakers have served in the House and just 5 expelled. That is until today. Santos is now the 6th. What's also rare is a bipartisan vote like we saw today. 2 weeks ago, the House Ethics Committee released a scathing report that even Santos's fellow Republicans could not ignore. Some of the details were surprising. The committee accused the New Yorker of using campaign money to pay personal credit card bills and to shop at Sephora, even allegedly spending thousands of dollars at Hermes. Now, getting kicked out of Congress isn't the 35-year-old's only concern. He could still face decades in prison for nearly 24 federal charges. A busy day on Capitol Hill, where we find CBS's Scott MacFarlane. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, Nora. A Congress that's already made history with the first ever removal of a U.S. House Speaker and 2 near government shutdowns. Today, expelled one of its own. George Santos began putting on his coat even as the vote to expel him was still underway, and then bolted.
Mr. Santos, what's your reaction to the expulsion?
Chased by reporters and riding off from the Capitol in a Jaguar as a former congressman. His final remark, reportedly, "Why would I want to stay here? To hell with this place."
In light of the expulsion of the gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, the whole number of the House is now 434.
Dozens of his fellow Republicans joined nearly all Democrats, voting to make Santos one of only 3 U.S. House members to be expelled since the U.S. Civil War, as congressional maintenance crews changed the locks on his doors and removed his nameplate.
Today, at least, democracy prevailed.
Members of both parties who had labeled Santos a crook and a distraction celebrated the move. Are you surprised by how any of that played out today?
No, but I'm pleased to see that this institution did the right thing.
Republican leadership, worried about their narrow majority, tried to save him by voting against removal.
Do you think Mr. Santos should stay?
I'm not going to vote to expel.
Arguing it sets a bad precedent to remove a member who hasn't been convicted of a crime. But Santos is facing trial next summer on 23 federal charges, including to accusations he stole his campaign donors' credit card numbers and racked up thousands of dollars in charges.
I have been convicted of no crimes, Mr. Speaker.
But it was a scathing House Ethics Committee report that convinced many Santos had gone too far, finding he grifted from his donors to surround himself in luxury, spending thousands on Botox treatments, luxury trips, and items from a high-end Ferragamo boutique. Just this week, one of his colleagues, Ohio Republican Max Miller, alleged his credit card and his mother's were among those fleeced by Santos.
You, sir, are a crook.
Minutes after the expulsion, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced she's beginning plans to have a special election in one of the dwindling number of actual competitive congressional districts in the U.S. Both parties, Nora, are about to spend a fortune trying to elect George Santos's successor.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you.